Welcome to the Vantage Point, where I give you views from my point of view. I am Brother Minister Raheem Kased Aten, aka the Sax Preacher. I am the founder of the Temple of Mercy Association, aka Toma Nation, an all-inclusive Black conscious righteous movement dedicated to the upliftment of Black people in North America. Co-founders Minister Omari Jahi and our First Lady is Sister Makila Aisha Aten. And the Toma Nation, Temple of Mercy, has been around since 1990. So it's been at least 30 years now we've been doing what we do before social media. I'm also the president of the United Black American Progress Association, whose founder is Dr. Webb Evans, who they call Mr. By Black. And I've been the president of that movement, chairperson and president, for quite some time. Also on the WM, a Worshipful Master, of Franklin Lodge number 25. Grand Lodge on the west side is William V. Banks Grand Lodge. And the headquarters is in Detroit, Michigan, International Free and Accepted Martin Masons in Order of Eastern Stars. We also have a chapter called Sisters of Joanne, chapter 212. So I'm a part of a lot of different things, and every time I leave something out, somebody kind of remind me what I left out. But I want to get right into this thing because I only got 30 minutes with you. And two things I want to make sure I hit on is this thing about these churches. People going to church and getting ready to open up Sunday, as well as I want to talk about this HR 6666 bill that Bobby Rush is trying to pass. So, getting right into it right quick, I just want to read something real fast. This movement, we're here to expose the lie, uplift the truth. There's no new truth. The truth has remained the same. Those who seek truth and want to represent truth will always pattern themselves with people of truth. We pattern ourselves after Nat Turner, Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Noble Joe Ali, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and anyone who has died for that truth. This war continues, and we are at war. According to the Holy Quran, it says we will hurl truth at falsehood till we knock out its brain. And I want you to know this is not something that just started. You know, the mindset of the Caucasian has been around for years, and they've mentioned us in Congress many times, at times when we weren't even present. So it's good to always have somebody black present in Congress. No, you're not going to really make too much change, but at least they won't be able to say something about us and do something to us in private, and then knowing that you all are present, they may not just even say nothing about it. But in 1832, Senator Henry Berry, in a speech at the House of Burgess in Virginia, said, "We have as far as possible," this is 1832, after they had got rid of Nat Turner and killed off David Walker. They said, "We have as far as possible closed every avenue by which the light, may enter the slave's mind. Now, if we could extinguish his capacity to see the light, our work would be complete. Then he would be on the level with the beast of the field, and we shall be safe." One of the methods they used was teaching us how to read the Bible and interpreting it their way. So now let me finish real quick this story dealing with this young lady named Deborah Coughlin, who couldn't breathe. And the whole thing about this is that there are new things that are considered new symptoms that doctors look at now that might make them come to the conclusion that you got this coronavirus. All right, so I'm going to read it quickly again. She was neither short of breath nor coughing. In those first days after she became infected by the coronavirus, her fever never spiked above 100. It was vomiting and diarrhea that brought her to the emergency room on May 1st. This article was May 11th. You would have thought it was a stomach virus, said her daughter, Katrina Coleman. She was talking and walking and completely coherent. But even as Coughlin, 67, chatted with her daughters on her cell phone, the oxygen level in her blood dropped so low that most patients would be near death. She is now on a ventilator and in critical condition at St. Francis Hospital. This novel coronavirus is far more unpredictable than the simple respiratory virus. Often it attacks the lungs, but it can also strike anywhere from the brain to the toes. And its capacity to cause blood clots, even as they struggle to help patients breathe. So it's a whole lot of stuff concerning this. This is about 10 pages, but I'm going to read what I underlined. And I'll continue to bring you information on this virus so you can know exactly what you need to do and, make your own decision. Says no one was expecting a disease that would not fit the pattern of pneumonia and respiratory illness. This is what David Rex said, a cardiac anesthesiologist and president of Mount Sinai Hospital. He said it attacks the heart, weakening its muscles and disrupting its critical rhythm. It savages kidneys so badly some hospitals have run short of dialysis equipment. It crawls along the nervous system. There's a herb that repairs damaged nerves called Brain Protex. Like I say, I'm the owner of a health not facility. Well, I don't know what to call it, but I've been a health advocate working under the name or title Nature's Divine Remedy. And under Nature's Divine Remedy, we promote two brands, Nature's Sunshine products and Total Life Changes. And those are the two brands that we promote under Nature's Divine Remedy. And what you heard me say was that if you want to deal with something that repairs damaged nerves, then basically you would take Brain Protex under Nature's Sunshine products. There was a friend I had that I knew, he's in another state now, played drums, and he jumped out the window by accident and fell on his back. And he was paralyzed from the waist down. And the doctor said he wouldn't walk again. And I hadn't seen him in years, but when I seen him, he was in a wheelchair, electrical wheelchair, moving around. And make a long story short, over a period of time, since he said he would do exactly what God told me to tell him to do, he took Brain Protex and he took noni juice, actually. And noni juice from Nature's Sunshine. And in a period of about 2 to 3 months, one day he came to the door because he had called us and said he needed some more Nature's Sunshine stuff. And when we came to the door, he opened the door and the wheelchair was in the corner. And all of us cried that day. And he's walking right now to this day. They had said that he had destroyed some nerve in his spinal cord that paralyzed him from the waist down. Well, like I said, I'm not giving no type of thing saying that this is a cure for it or whatnot, but I'm only telling you that to supplement what was going on with him, God told me to tell him to add those supplements, herbal supplements, to whatever he was taking at that time. So anyway, this thing attacks the heart, weakens its muscles, disrupting its critical rhythm, salvages the kidneys so bad that some hospitals have run short of dialysis equipment. It can begin with a few symptoms or none at all. Then days later, sneeze the air out of the lungs without warning. It picks on the elderly people, weakened by previous diseases. This is why we're number one, because we're number one in all them previous diseases. And disproportionately the obese. It harms men more than women, but there are also signs it complicates pregnancies. You know, they say sarcoidosis attacks mostly women. And now they're saying that this one attacks mostly men. I'm still saying, without a shadow of a doubt, this is biological warfare. All right? So these symptoms now include brain strokes from blood clots, neurological issues, pink eye, loss of smell and taste, blood, unexpected blood clotting attached to the lining of blood vessels, gastrointestinal system, vomiting, diarrhea in some people, lungs, clogs and inflames, the alveoli, air sacs, hampering breathing, pulmonary embolism from breakaway blood clots and microclots, heart, weakness of heart muscles causing dangerous arrhythmical patterns and heart attacks due to small clots, kidneys, damage to the structures that filter waste from blood. Patients often require dialysis. Skin. They even saying you could have little purple rashes and stuff on your fingers and toes, and these rashes could be signs of that. See, all I'm saying, and I was going to tell you this, the immune system, widespread impact, including overactive immune response that attacks healthy tissue. See, because I know that America and most other people have a denial objective to destroy light-skinned, dark-skinned people off the planet Earth through genocide, that let's look at this. First, they talked about the virus, and they said mostly elderly. Then it advanced to saying that keep them away from around children because the children can be asymptomatic. Now they're saying that adults can be asymptomatic. Then they said we got to wear masks. Then we got to wear gloves. Then they said it was airborne. Then they said now every ailment basically that you got could be COVID. And so now the number of people with it now grows exponentially now because it fits all of these. And that's almost everything. Well, I'm thinking they're leading up to who is going to have to take the vaccine and who is going to have to be tested. Well, guess who that is now, y'all? Everyone. Everyone. So they make whatever it is they trying to make you do, they create the scenario to make everybody have to take it. That's what I'm seeing. How do I know? Because again, like I told you, when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis, it was just a disease that attacked the lungs. The doctors didn't know what it was, didn't know the cause or the cure. 99% black people. They showed some sort of show on TV. I think it was Chicago, not Chicago Fire, but it was dealing with the hospital. And a lady came in and she was sick. And she was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. And they told her it was primarily a black disease. And so she was a racist. And so she was mad that they called it a black disease. She couldn't tell her husband, she couldn't tell her relatives or nothing, that she had a black disease. What made it even worse, somewhere in her family line was black people. And she didn't know that. And she discovered that day that that's what it had to be. But yet, I'm just trying to show you it's primarily a black disease. And now you can have sarcoidosis of the heart, sarcoidosis of the liver, sarcoidosis of the lungs, sarcoidosis of the brain, sarcoidosis of the skin, sarcoidosis of everything. Again, when something like that is happening, the end result is called I don't know. The end result is they've been creating stuff now that's even beyond your average doctor at your average clinic. So they come in and they run because they don't even know what the hell it is you got sometimes. So we're in a situation where we're being bombarded with all kind of different things in our communities. But this is why we got to build our hope on the knowledge of a supreme being, on the knowledge of a higher power that is intercepting and interfering in the affairs of man for his chosen people, the black man and woman on the planet Earth. We need to know that we're special. We need to know that the 13th tribe in North America is special to the creator force. And that he has these things people y'all call angels, that I call guardians, that watches us here on earth, but they can't intervene, but they can intercept some things. So that makes sure that this evil cabal don't completely wipe us out as a people. So I just thought I'd read some more of that. Now let's get over to this thing with Lightfoot. We only got 15 minutes. She said, I'm urging you to stay the course. If there's a problem, I would rather be in conversation than be in conflict. A hint word there. The mayor wrote this in a letter to religious leaders. It's almost like a threat. To use the term conflict, said, I'd rather work with you than against you. So she appealed to the religious leaders not to defy Governor J.B. Pritzker's stay-at-home order, and she warns she's prepared to enforce the rules if they don't. She wrote a letter saying, Dear members of the Chicago faith community, she sent it out Thursday, urging religious leaders to continue holding virtual services rather than in-personal services where it is difficult, if not impossible, to maintain social distance. I'm urging you to stay the course. If there's a problem, I would rather be in conversation than in conflict. But to be clear, I am resolute that I must enforce the rules of the governor's stay-at-home order. To be fair to all, I simply cannot look away from non-compliance, no matter the source or the intention, she wrote. Now, I could keep going and on and on. But she's saying, yes, limiting services and other important religious convenings like funerals, baptisms, banning bar mitzvahs, breaking fasts and weddings is hard, but it remains every bit as important now as ever. This moment is very much about the cold reality of the facts, how this virus is transmitted and how ruthlessly it attacks. I agree with her. I agree. You're talking about writing tickets, and citations, and arresting people, and all this and that. But look, let's be fair. Even if you did say that you did go up north and you got on those people and all, okay, why wasn't that in the media? Why wasn't that on social media? But every time you do something in the black community and tell our people what not to do, and then one of our brothers or sisters ride through the other community and they say they're not doing it, and then they show a picture of an officer giving masks out to people who ain't social distancing. But then when they flip the script in New York, and when they flip the script in Los Angeles, and when they flip the script on the south side and on the west side of Chicago, and they doing similar to what the Jews did in New York when they lined the streets with over 1,000-some-odd people, and the police didn't and couldn't do nothing about it. But then now, over here on the south side, you got our brothers and sisters being arrested, stomped on, dragged, drug out, put in jail, and all kind of stuff throughout the United States. Throughout the United States. But then a group of white folks can stand on the Capitol steps of every state in the United States and protest with AK-47s, Tech-9s, 9mm, and Confederate flags, saying that they're talking to the government about the stay-at-home thing, but at the same time using it as an opportunity to show black America, yeah, we still looking at you, and we done gunned up for you, and y'all know our Confederate flag represents the Ku Klux Klan, so now take that, we armed, we ready, what about you? But then if one of us stood in the same place, we don't have to stand on the steps of the Capitol buildings in the United States. Just stand on the corner and have a gun. And you'll be treated totally different. I already know it. So we got to understand that there's two different ways that they do us. And I can't say we deserve it, because I know we don't. We don't deserve it no more than any other group deserve it. And I know that a lot of them, look how they arrested this one guy. And they basically asked him to lay down. They kept on twisting his arm behind his back. He kept on cussing at them and whatnot. And he kept resisting and all. They didn't even tase him. They didn't even tase him. But when it come to us, tase, shot, over, tried, convicted, and sentenced all at one time. Then when they shoot you with the portable electric chair, that's your sentence. We can't win for losing. This is why I promote do for self. This is why I promote race first. This is why I promote we need to read these books I'm telling you about. Fall of America. This is why I promote stuff like that. And then when we getting off the economics and doing for self and getting ourselves back in order like we have to, that's when I promote Claude Anderson's Powernomics, a national plan to empower Black America. And don't forget your Bible and your Holy Quran, because each book represents 180 degrees the knowledge and wisdom of the Creator and the creative force and his disciples and his prophets and their relationship to a higher power. And both 180 and 180 between Bible and Holy Quran is 306 degrees of the knowledge and wisdom of the Creator. So you don't want to miss out on something. Now, as far as them preachers going to church, well, it's a different. The Bible says, be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. But there's also something called adopting. And when you have a crisis forces you to adopt to certain changes until the crisis is gone. And the crisis that we're in is a severe crisis, dealing with a pandemic that was created in a laboratory and is really ravaging the Black communities. So now we have to not conform to it, but we need to adopt, which means to adjust to certain things for a little while until we can say that, okay, the coast is clear. So adopting is not conforming. Just to adopt to it or make certain adjustments to it, yeah. So I would say, well, at the expense of the lives of the people, personally speaking, now you need to give Lori Lightfoot a round of applause. Because if it was me, I'd let you. After all the warnings like prophets do, then God moved him out the way. And he just let whatever happens, happens. From being hard-headed. So if you want to go by your faith that God will tell you that the death angel done passed by, it's time to come out. But you don't want to listen to the major prophet that God got on the scene. The major, supreme, superior messenger on this planet right now for Black people is Minister Louis Farrakhan. If he ain't telling the people in the mosque to come back into the mosque, then you need to watch him. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care if you another group that is not with the minister. Well, I'm sorry. It said the Lord will come as a thief in the night. That means he'll be cloaked. He'll be covered. You won't know who he is. See, when the major prophet was on the scene back in the 20th century, who was Martin Luther King, anybody else who wasn't Christian, they missed out on being able to learn from a prophet that God sent to us back then. But now you can hear all his lectures on YouTube and whatnot. But then you had the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, same thing, one of the major prophets on the set. But you got minor prophets, you got minor messengers of God. You hear me say, I am a messenger, not the messenger. I'm one of them, but I'm not major. I might speak in a major way, but it depends on who's listening to you that makes you major or minor. It depends on your group that listens and follows you. And so I'm a minor, but I am a messenger. And so I just want you to know that I would let you go. So you should thank Lightfoot. And it could be political that if she lose so many people and act like she don't care, she might not be mayor again. Well, if I let you go, I'll still be the messenger, a messenger of God. Because all I'm going to say is I did what the Lord told me to tell you. I read the Bible and Quran, and that's what happened to people who disobeyed and didn't listen to the prophet. That's what happened to Saul when he didn't listen to Samuel. Samuel was a prophet. That's what would have happened to people who didn't, matter of fact, that is what happened to people who didn't listen to Moses when he gave them clear instructions on how to put the blood of the lamb on their doorpost, and some of the people that were Hebrews didn't even do it. They paid for it. So God is saying he is not the author of confusion. So if one group saying yes, one group saying no, one group is right and one group is wrong. So we'll see who's right and we'll see who's wrong. But I know I got a lot of people dying from this thing. This is only session 3 of the Vantage point. I'll be back, and I know my time is almost up. Matter of fact, I got 5 minutes. So I'll be back. But that's my take on this stuff. That's my take on all these different things, because I know that anything that I tell you about, it's not no one thing. You see, this enemy, when he makes a move, he's going to take out 4 or 5 different things, just like they would in the army. Not one thing, 4 or 5 different things. See, so yes, there's a virus. Yes, there's a test that you take. But now, how about good health? How about eating proper vegetables and fruits? How about only eating fruits and vegetables that can reproduce? How about knowing that because mostly in all our food is poison, taking a vitamin supplement that will replace those minerals that's not in that other food that's not so nutritional? How about, because we know that the virus now replicates itself and duplicates itself so many times, and it hides in the parasites in your body, so that when you think that you're well, it busts out again. So what does that mean? Well, that means you need a parasite cleanse. That means you need some of this ISOT to cleanse your body out and get them parasites out, to make sure that that virus can't stay in your body once you think it's gone. Then you get you some Silver Shield, and put it in your nose and in your mouth. And look, this the only ones that I stand by is either Nature Sunshine products and Total Life Changes, all under the banner of Nature's Divine Remedy, which is my nature's business that I run. Okay? So now, I got 3 minutes. And this thing about, again, I hope I can find it. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow. We got to make sure we fight and let them know that we're not going to stand for House Resolution 6666, the Trace Act, they call it, to authorize the Secretary of Health and Human Services to award grants to eligible entities to conduct diagnostic testing for COVID-19. Now again, Rizza Islam, he says why this is not a good thing. Hopefully I can say why real quick. He says we do not consent to contact tracing, medical surveillance, talking about these little vans that's going to be coming around, or forced medical intervention. HR 6666 also violates international legal guarantees to which the United States and all of its states are signatories, and constitutionally mandates to protect and uphold. Constitutional lawyer Robert Barnes notes, our founders were intimately familiar with pandemics, viruses, and plagues, yet they did not allow any to suspend our constitutional liberties. Not one word in the Constitution about plagues or pandemics to exempt the government from any of our Bill of Rights. Neither does the U.S. Code, Section 42, override these guaranteed rights, including those of the states, which this bill attempts to do. Neither does the Commerce Clause allow any violation of the rights of the people under the lie that Congress is regulating commerce between states. It is doing no such thing. Congress's commitment to the Constitution appears to be non-existent. They are proving this time and time again. It persists in allowing house arrest and movement restrictions of the healthy under the guise of a quarantine for the sick, while continuing to propose and pass unconstitutional laws, while the people cannot fully engage in the democratic process or the lack thereof. The House and HR 6666's sponsors are in contempt of the people in proposing this legislation. Neither Congress nor DHHS is truly acting in the interest of public health. We are not animals. We should not consent to slavery under the veil of public health. And we have the right to choose whether or not our homes should be invaded by a tyrannical government. Congress must not pass this law. Go on Rizza Islam's Facebook page, R-I-Z-Z-A Islam, and he has something on there where you can sign to make sure that enough of us sign so that this bill won't be signed into law. This is the bill. This is the bill. So now, it's time for me to go. I will be back. You can see me for about an hour tomorrow at 12:30 live. More so, I'll have an hour. And then again, you will hear from me again Monday at 3:30. Not Sunday, but Monday at 3:30. God willing. So look, y'all, it's 4 o'clock. Let's be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove when it comes to rushing to do some things. Rushing to get this bill out and not really thinking. Rushing to get somebody to put a bill into law saying that gun violence is a disease, or that violence itself is a mental health disease. Be careful. Think over it. Talk to the people. Listen first. Then go do it. Don't let the idea that all these other grants that everybody going for, is that department is full of people, but ain't too many people rushing to get the grants on mental health, and you get so desperate that you want to make violence a mental health thing. But don't forget this. Every disease or virus, they're either going to give you one of two things for it. And that's either a vaccine or some sort of medication. And if you don't want your children in the future to be vaccinated or given some medicine like they do with ADHD, that when they born, they got to be either vaccinated or get this medicine, because they already proved through Gary Slupkin, an epidemiologist, that black people are genetically prone to violence. Be careful what we're doing for our children. We call them our future, but we also can move the hand to move the pen that will write a bill that will erase your children's future. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.